This is Brian from MotivationChristopher.com, and today I want to talk to you about 10 signs that your relationship is over. Because many people are choosing to stay in relationships that have already run their course, and I think it is due to the fact that people are reluctant to accept what these signs are trying to tell them. We begin to make excuses for the other person's actions instead of holding them accountable. We believe they will change over time only to discover that they never do. We stay because we've gotten comfortable. Being with them is all we know. It's almost like we are living in a state of denial because we see the reasons why we should leave, but we continue to stay out of fear. I recently coached a man who was aware of his wife's behavior and treatment towards him, but afraid to make the decision to divorce her, so he reached out to me. Here's my list of 10 signs or reasons why your relationship should end. Number 1. Your lover no longer invests effort into communicating with you to resolve issues, and would rather give you the silent treatment as a means of punishing you. This is a form of emotional abuse, and many men and women who are narcissistic treat others this way when something they have done or said wrong is exposed. They will use stonewalling as a way to block your attempts to talk to them by saying, "I don't want to talk about it," or "talking doesn't help." I can relate to this because one of my ex-girlfriends used those same lines when I discovered that she was talking to multiple men behind my back. I wanted to gain clarity on what happened, and she would go completely silent. Or she would become so aggressive that she would begin to deflect blame onto me as if I had done something wrong. This is another tactic used by narcissistic people because they are so insecure with themselves and have so much pride that they cannot admit to doing any wrong. In this man's particular case, whenever a talk was necessary with his wife, she would go to her room and shut and lock the door. Instead of talking to him face to face about it, hours or days later, she would send text messages to him, even though they were in the same house together. Communication, in my opinion, is the most important trait of any successful relationship, even more so than love. If you don't have a partner who's providing you with any effort to resolve conflict, then are they really worth your time? Think about it. If you don't resolve an issue that really hurt you, then what that does is it begins to build resentment towards the other person, and it will fester over time. Resentment will, in return, start affecting other areas of your relationship. Not only will your communication suffer, but so will the intimacy. So will the desire to go out Friday night to dinner or to dance. All due to unresolved issues, all due to poor communication. The second sign that your relationship is over, your lover is beginning to become very critical of you. Instead of praising or showing appreciation for your good qualities or for what you do for them or for your achievements, they will begin to nitpick everything about you. You get a promotion at work, and instead of being happy for you, they berate you. They begin to make you feel like something is wrong with you. They don't like your decision making anymore. They don't like the jeans that you wear. They don't like the music that you listen to. It is one thing for an individual to have opinions, but if their goal is to make you feel bad, to be critical of you all the time, do yourself a favor and get rid of them. The number 3 sign your relationship is over, the intimacy is gone. You no longer make love. They used to give you random hugs and kisses, and now they don't even touch you. There is excuse after excuse as to why they aren't in the mood, but it's been 3 months and you are beginning to feel your self-esteem dwindle. You begin to think you aren't attractive anymore. Now, intimacy doesn't always refer to sex. What about the closeness that you once had? Maybe you used to cuddle up every Saturday night to watch a movie, but now you watch television in separate rooms. He's in the front room playing video games while you are alone in the bedroom watching The Bachelor. There's something wrong with this picture. I understand that every relationship has a honeymoon period, and when that wears off, the intensity and frequency of intimacy isn't as strong, but you still need regular intervals of it because it acts as a glue. It strengthens the bond you have. It strengthens the love you feel for the other person. You should never go weeks, months, or years without sharing affection. But if you have, then this may be a sign that your relationship is over, especially if they are like our number 1 sign and refuse to listen and communicate with you about the intimate needs of your relationship. Number 4, you catch them lying to you a lot. Partners will start lying in order to avoid confrontation because they no longer respect your feelings. They would rather lie than to potentially start an argument. And if you are dating a narcissist, they will take lying to the next level and gaslight you. Gaslighting is when they try to convince you that you said or did something that you never did. Lying and gaslighting are manipulation tactics used to gain control over you. Many people who are cheaters are pros at this, which leads me to the next sign that your relationship is over. Number 5, you've been cheated on. As I mentioned, cheaters are expert liars because many affairs can go on for weeks, months, or even years without the other person finding out. If you find out your partner has cheated on you, it's best to cut ties and move on no matter how much they apologize because you are not likely to reconcile the cheating and you are going to have a difficult time trusting that person ever again. What they did is always going to be at the back of your head. If you can't trust your partner, then there is no relationship. I know someone who dated a woman for about a year. He found out that she had cheated on him with multiple guys, and instead of dumping her, he proposed to her. He thought the ring would change her ways, that it would mature her, that it would strengthen the fictitious relationship he thought he would have with her once they were married. But to make a long story short, guess what happened after they got engaged? She cheated on him again. Like the old saying goes, once a cheater, always a cheater. My number 6 sign that your relationship is over, you live like roommates. You no longer view each other as lovers. You don't go out on dates anymore. You sleep in separate beds. There's a lot of ignoring going on in the household, except for when it's time to discuss paying the bills. People will stay with someone they are unhappy with because they become dependent on their income to help with living expenses, especially if they have kids together. And to a certain extent, I can understand that, but if you think to yourself, well, as soon as I get the promotion at work and can get on my own 2 feet, I'm going to leave. That tells me your relationship is already over because you've already identified that the other person means nothing to you anymore. Next, my number 7 sign is your friends and family no longer like them, and their friends and family no longer like you. This happens when you argue all the time and never resolve anything. You will begin to vent your frustrations to your family and friends. I'm not saying you should never discuss your relationship with them, but you have to be careful that you don't paint your boyfriend or girlfriend in a negative light all the time. Not unless what they did or said truly warrants it. You cannot continue to have a healthy relationship if you both have alienated one another from each other's family and peer groups. The man that I recently coached mentioned how his wife would tell her mother how horrible of a husband he's been because he decided not to give in to all of her demands. So of course, this pissed off her mother, which led her to cut off all communication with him. If you're in a relationship with someone whose family and friends want nothing to do with you, or if it's reversed and your loved ones are telling you the person you are dating is not good for you, I think you need to pay attention to the sign. It's not meant to be. Number 8. You are snooping or spying on them. Is your gut telling you that something isn't right? Is your partner becoming very defensive whenever you ask them questions about their friends who are of the opposite sex? Do you feel like nothing is getting resolved whenever you try to communicate about what is bothering you? Do you feel like your only option is to spy on them as if that is going to ease your concerns? More than likely, you are going to find something that you don't like if you snoop. Then, it will slowly become an addiction to where you have to be constantly checking up on them in order to have some sort of peace of mind. If you have gotten to this point in your relationship, it means there is an issue of trust. There is an issue of miscommunication. your relationship is toxic, and chances are you will begin acting in a way that is going to further add to the dysfunction. Eventually, the other person is going to find out. And how do you think that is going to make them feel? Do you think healthy couples spy on each other? A partner who truly loves and values you isn't going to give you reasons to doubt them. They aren't going to create within you a state of paranoia. I have found that our intuition is usually right, and if the person you are with is consistently giving you bad vibes, then you are better off exiting the relationship instead of spying on them. Number 9. You question whether this person is the one or not. So you've gone through some struggles with your partner and perhaps seen some red flags. And now you have this ongoing debate in your head, is this the one? Typically, if you have to ask yourself that question, they are not. The fact that you are searching on YouTube signs that your relationship is over is a strong sign that your relationship is just that, over. Individuals who show up as soulmates in your life typically don't make you question the connection you have with them. They will feel right. But there is also the possibility that at first they come off that way to you, but now you are questioning your future with this person because you both have grown apart. And that is okay. Not all soulmates are going to remain with you for the rest of your life. More than likely, your relationship has run its course, and the doubts you have are encouraging you to move in a new direction. And lastly, the 10th sign is the most obvious one, and that is you are miserable when you are around this person. You no longer feel the love for them that you once did. Over the span of your relationship, there have been moments when you both could have embraced each other's differences, but instead chose to distance yourself with each unresolved issue. You got to the point where you have given up trying to make it work. You feel defeated. You feel like a failure. You feel trapped. But I'm here to tell you that you're not. Relationships are like the 4 seasons. They come and then they go. Each of these seasons serve a purpose, just like the relationship you feel trapped in now had a purpose. And maybe the lesson you need to learn now is how to free yourself from something that has already been dead. The first step in doing that is to leave. Once you gain the courage to bury it, you will experience a breath of fresh air that you've been yearning to take. The weight will be lifted off your shoulders. Healing energies will begin to flow in. And with what you've just gone through, your soul will rejoice in the expectation of what's yet to come. If you would like to get my help personally, please visit my website, motivationchristopher.com, and click on the coaching link. Also, share my videos with anyone who you feel would benefit from the value of information offered. And remember to raise your standards to raise your value, which will ultimately raise your vibration.